Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I want to speak with you about something most men over 50 rarely discuss openly, but quietly, privately, it weighs on their hearts. Their confidence, their sense of vitality. It's not just about health in the narrow sense. It's about life, joy, intimacy, energy, and the quiet dignity of feeling fully alive as a man. You see, there comes a time when many men begin to notice that the things that once came so naturally, the pleasures that made them feel vibrant and strong, seem to fade. Energy feels lower. Drive feels muted. The flame of youth that once burned with confidence and vigor starts to dim. And yet, what if I told you that the decline so many accept as normal aging does not have to be inevitable? What if I told you that there is a natural, scientifically validated way, found not in a pill bottle, not in an artificial stimulant, but in the very foods we choose, to reignite the spark of youth, to restore the body's natural rhythms, and to awaken that sense of strength and pleasure that so many men think they've lost forever? Tonight, I want to take you on a journey into the heart of this question, and ultimately reveal the single most powerful food that can transform the way men over 50 feel, think, and live. Let me begin with a story. Several years ago I met a man named Richard. He was 56 years old, a successful entrepreneur, father of 3, deeply respected in his community. From the outside, he seemed to have everything together. But when he came to see me, he looked me straight in the eye and confessed, "I don't feel like myself anymore. I wake up tired. I've lost the spark with my wife. I feel weaker, slower, less alive." His voice cracked as he said it, not because of vanity, but because of the deep human fear that he was losing the essence of himself. Richard's case is not unusual. In fact, it is one of the most common experiences men over 50 silently carry. Testosterone levels begin to decline, blood flow weakens, cells don't regenerate as they once did. The body's orchestra, once playing in harmony, begins to go slightly out of tune. And with that comes fatigue, muscle loss, lower drive, and a sense of disconnection from pleasure itself. Too many men are told this is simply part of aging, an irreversible slide into decline. But that narrative is false. Biology has shown us something extraordinary, that the human body is capable of renewal, even after 50, even after 60, even after 70. Let's talk science for a moment. Every cell in the body requires nutrients not just to survive, but to thrive. The blood vessels, the nerves, the brain, the reproductive organs, all of them depend on a steady supply of building blocks from food. What we eat is not just fuel, it is information. Food tells the body how to function. Some foods send messages of inflammation, fatigue, and decline. Others send messages of regeneration, repair, and vitality. And when we find the right foods, the ones nature designed to protect blood vessels, restore hormone balance, and enhance cellular energy, we unlock something profound. Now, the number one food I'm talking about tonight has been part of human diets for centuries, yet modern science has only recently begun to reveal its astonishing power for men over 50. It is a food rich in natural compounds that restore nitric oxide production in the body, a critical molecule that relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and literally revives the ability of tissues to receive oxygen and nutrients. Without nitric oxide, no man can feel fully alive, because circulation is the essence of life itself. This food also provides amino acids essential for muscle repair, antioxidants that protect the brain, and phytonutrients that support testosterone balance. In short, it is nature's blueprint for male vitality. But before I reveal what it is, I want you to understand why this matters so deeply. I remember another patient, Daniel, 61 years old, married for 35 years. He came to me not because of illness, but because he felt invisible. "My wife and I love each other," he told me, "but I feel like I've lost the man she fell in love with. I'm not present. I'm not energetic. I'm not me." When Daniel began incorporating this food into his daily life, along with a few simple lifestyle changes, within months he began to glow again. His energy surged, his posture changed, and the light in his eyes returned. He sat across from me one day and said, "I feel like I've been given another shot at life." Stories like Daniel's and Richard's are not miracles. They are biology at work. When circulation improves, when hormones stabilize, when the brain is nourished, pleasure, both in intimacy and in life itself, comes back. Men often think they need a prescription or worse, resign themselves to decline. But the truth is, food is medicine, and the right food can act as the most powerful prescription of all. So, what is this number one food that restores youthful pleasure for men over 50? It is the humble beet. Yes, beets, the crimson root vegetable that many of us overlooked as children, contains some of the highest natural concentrations of dietary nitrates, compounds that the body converts into nitric oxide. Beets literally open the highways of the body's circulation, revitalizing blood flow to the brain, the muscles, and yes, the areas of intimacy that so many men struggle with in silence. When you consume beets, whether roasted, juiced, or even in powder form, you are fueling your body's ability to restore that vital molecule of nitric oxide. Studies have shown that men who regularly consume beets experience improved stamina, lower blood pressure, greater vascular health, and enhanced performance in both physical activity and intimacy. It's not hype, it's physiology. But let's step back for a moment. This is not about a single vegetable magically reversing time. This is about a symbol, a gateway, into a different way of living. Beets remind us that within nature lies the power to heal what many of us thought was broken. They remind us that we are not prisoners of our birth certificate or our chronological age. They remind us that by choosing wisely what we put into our bodies, we can reclaim something we thought was gone forever. When I tell patients about beets, they often laugh. "You're telling me this little red vegetable can do all that?" And then, when they try it, when they commit to nourishing their bodies with it, they come back amazed. Their whiteners notice. More importantly, they notice. Their energy shifts. Their confidence rises. They walk into a room taller. They rediscover the joy of feeling young again. And so tonight, as you hear these words, I want you to understand this: aging is inevitable, but decline is optional. Pleasure is not meant to fade away. It is meant to be nourished, cultivated, renewed. The number one food that restores youthful pleasure is not an exotic supplement or a laboratory invention. It is a gift from the earth itself, one that has been waiting for you to rediscover it. Now, this journey is not only about what happens inside your body, it is also about what happens inside your heart. Because when a man feels alive again, when he feels that spark return, it changes not just his physiology, but his relationships, his sense of purpose, his joy in living. I have seen marriages reignite, careers re-energize, and spirits lifted, all because one man made the choice to nourish his body with the foods that restore life rather than drain it. And beets are just the beginning. They open the door to a larger truth that nature provides us with tools to live not just longer, but better. To live with strength, passion, and presence well beyond the years we once thought possible. When you begin to embrace this truth, something remarkable happens. The fear of aging begins to dissolve. Instead of seeing your 50s, 60s, or 70s as a slow march toward decline, you start to recognize these years as a new chapter. A chapter where wisdom, strength, and vitality coexist, and it begins with small but powerful decisions. Think about it: what would change in your life if you woke up tomorrow with more energy, stronger focus, and the confidence of a man 10 or 20 years younger? For some, it might mean rekindling intimacy with a partner. For others, it might mean the courage to chase long-delayed dreams, to travel, to create, to love more deeply. The science of beets is not isolated to a few lab studies. It has been demonstrated repeatedly across disciplines. Researchers at the University of Exeter in the United Kingdom discovered that beet juice significantly increases stamina, allowing older adults to exercise longer with less fatigue. Other studies have shown improvements in blood vessel elasticity, reductions in high blood pressure, and enhanced brain function, particularly in areas linked to memory and decision-making. These are not small effects. They are profound shifts in the body's fundamental systems. Improved circulation does not just affect one organ. It transforms the entire human experience. You might be thinking, "I don't like the taste of beets." That's a common reaction. But here's the beauty: you don't have to love them raw and earthy on your plate. They can be blended into smoothies with berries and citrus, roasted with herbs until sweet, or consumed in powdered form mixed into water or tea. What matters is not the form, it's the consistency. This is not about eating one beet on a Sunday and hoping for miracles. It is about daily nourishment, daily commitment, daily partnership with your body. Let me tell you about Thomas, a retired firefighter I met in his late 50s. His career had demanded strength, stamina, and courage, but when he retired he felt depleted. His body ached, his energy was flat, and intimacy with his wife had quietly faded into memory. He told me, "I thought the best part of life was over." When Thomas introduced beets into his daily routine, along with a few other dietary changes, he began to notice something. Within weeks his workouts felt lighter, his mood lifted, and the old spark returned in the bedroom. Months later, his wife wrote me a letter. In it, she said, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." That's when I realized this isn't just about one man. It's about families, marriages, communities. When a man feels fully alive again, everyone around him feels it too. We must also consider the role of testosterone, the hormone that defines so much of a man's vitality. After 50, testosterone naturally declines, but lifestyle choices can either accelerate or slow that process. Poor diet, lack of exercise, chronic stress, and environmental toxins all push testosterone downward. But when circulation improves through foods like beets, when inflammation decreases, and when the body begins to repair itself, testosterone levels often stabilize. This is not magic. It is physiology responding to the messages we give it. And there's another element, psychology. When men lose their sense of pleasure, it's not only physical, it's emotional. They begin to withdraw, to feel less worthy, less connected. This creates a cycle where the lack of physical vitality feeds into emotional decline, which in turn worsens physical health. But when circulation improves, when energy rises, when the brain feels sharper and intimacy is restored, the emotional burden lifts. Men begin to smile again. They begin to engage again. They become present with their families, their partners, their friends. And that, perhaps, is the greatest gift of all, the restoration of presence. Some may dismiss this as just a vegetable. But I want you to remember, the human body was not designed for synthetic shortcuts. It was designed for the natural rhythms of plants, minerals, sunlight, and movement. The compounds in beets are not artificial tricks. They are the exact molecules your body has relied on for millennia to maintain its vitality. By aligning with nature, you're not forcing your body, you're empowering it. Of course, beets alone cannot do everything. They are the centerpiece of a broader orchestra of lifestyle choices that can transform the way men over 50 live. Imagine pairing the nitric oxide boost of beets with the oxygenating power of daily walking, the muscle-building benefits of resistance training, and the calming effects of mindfulness. Imagine supporting it with healthy fats from foods like avocados and nuts, and lean proteins that repair muscle. Imagine giving your body restful sleep, during which hormones like growth hormone and testosterone regenerate. Together, these choices become a symphony, each element amplifying the others, creating not just a healthier man, but a more vibrant human being. I remember one man, Leonard, 72 years old, who had almost given up on himself. He was overweight, diabetic, and struggling with erectile dysfunction. His doctors prescribed medications, but nothing seemed to truly restore his sense of vitality. When he began focusing on nutrition, starting with daily beet juice, something shifted. His blood sugar stabilized, his circulation improved, his energy rose. Within months he was walking daily with his wife again, laughing more, and yes, intimacy returned. His wife told me, "I feel like we're newlyweds again." That's the power of nature's medicine. Healing not just the body, but the soul of a relationship. There's also a cultural shift we need to talk about. Too often, society treats men over 50 as if their best years are behind them. Advertisements focus on slowing down, on managing decline, on coping with aging. But what if instead we spoke about thriving, about living with passion, with strength, with purpose well into our 70s, 80s, and beyond? The truth is, longevity without vitality is not the goal. The goal is to live each day fully, to wake up with energy, to experience pleasure, to contribute to the world around us with vigor. The Crimson Beet, simple and humble, is a reminder of that possibility. It tells us that the solutions are not hidden in laboratories or in secret formulas. They are growing in the soil, waiting for us to rediscover them. And when men choose to nourish themselves with this food, they are not just restoring circulation or hormone balance. They are making a statement: I am not done. I am still alive. I am still capable of joy. Now let's address something important. Change requires courage. It's easier to stay in old patterns, to dismiss natural solutions, to reach for temporary fixes. But true transformation comes from commitment, from saying, I deserve better. My partner deserves better. My family deserves the best version of me. That decision, made consistently, is what turns a man's 50s, 60s, and 70s into the most powerful decades of his life. So tonight, I want to challenge you. If you are a man over 50, or if you love a man over 50, don't accept decline as destiny. Begin with one simple step. Bring beets into your life. Try them daily in whatever form works for you. Notice the changes. Feel the energy rise. Watch the spark return. And then let that be the foundation of something bigger, a life lived with vitality, intimacy, and joy. Because in the end, this is not just about food. It's about hope. It's about reclaiming the part of yourself you thought was gone. It's about proving to yourself that you are still capable of passion, of pleasure, of life in its fullest form. The crimson root, humble and unassuming, is nature's way of reminding you youth is not behind you. It is within you, waiting to be awakened. And so, as you leave here tonight, I ask you to remember this. Every meal is a choice, every bite a message to your body. Choose the foods that heal, that restore, that empower. Choose the life that is still yours to live. And never forget, the fire within you does not vanish with age. It waits for you to feed it, to nourish it, to let it burn brightly once more. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one food that restores youthful pleasure is not a secret drug or a modern invention. It is the gift of nature, the crimson beet. And through it, and through the choices you make every day, you have the power to write the next chapter of your life, not as a story of decline, but as a story of renewal, of strength, of joy. And with that, I say this: your best years are not behind you. They are ahead of you, if you choose to claim them. Think for a moment about the power of a single choice. A man chooses to drive down one road rather than another, and his life changes forever. A man chooses to say yes to one opportunity, and his destiny unfolds differently. And in the same way, a man chooses what to put on his plate, what to fuel his body with. And that choice becomes the architecture of his health, his energy, his pleasure, and ultimately, his future. I often tell men that every bite of food is not just a calorie. It is a signal. When you eat processed foods, fried oils, excessive sugars, and empty starches, your body hears inflame, clog, weaken. But when you eat foods like beets, rich in nitrates, antioxidants, and healing compounds, your body hears restore, repair, thrive. The body is not a machine doomed to rust. It is a garden constantly responding to what is fed, watered, and nurtured. And beets, in their vibrant crimson brilliance, are a form of nourishment that tells the body, grow young again. The science of nitric oxide is one of the most fascinating discoveries of the last half-century. In 1998, 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize for uncovering how this molecule works. Nitric oxide is not a supplement or a drug. It is a natural compound your body produces to signal blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing blood to flow freely. Without it, circulation falters. With it, circulation flourishes. For a man, that means not only better cardiovascular health, but sharper brain function, more stamina during exercise, and yes, restored pleasure and performance in intimacy. Beets, because of their extraordinary nitrate content, are one of the most efficient ways to replenish this molecule naturally. I remember meeting Samuel, a 65-year-old retired school principal. He came to me not because of illness, but because of frustration. He said, "I'm doing everything right, walking daily, eating decently, taking my medications, but I still feel flat. My memory isn't what it used to be, my energy is low, and my confidence with my wife has faded. I encouraged Samuel to begin incorporating daily beet juice. Within weeks, his blood pressure improved. Within months, he reported that his energy was higher, his concentration sharper, and his intimacy was stored. His wife later joked with me, "I feel like I married a younger man again." That is the quiet revolution of a simple food, transforming not only biology but relationships, confidence, and joy. But here's something crucial: nitric oxide levels decline steadily as we age. By the time a man reaches 50, his body produces only half of what it did at 20. This decline is one of the hidden reasons why so many men experience fatigue, erectile difficulties, brain fog, and cardiovascular issues. Beets act like a key to unlock that door again, restoring what age has quietly taken. It is not about reversing time. It is about empowering your biology to function at its best, no matter your age. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, can it really be that simple? Yes and no. It is simple in the sense that the body responds profoundly to the right inputs. But it requires consistency, commitment, and a willingness to see food not as a casual afterthought, but as the foundation of vitality. A man who eats beets once and expects transformation will be disappointed. A man who nourishes his body daily with these compounds will, over time, experience the steady, powerful renewal of his systems. Let's also talk about the brain. Pleasure is not just physical. It is profoundly neurological. When circulation improves, when blood flow to the brain is enhanced, cognitive function sharpens. Men report clearer thinking, better mood, deeper sleep, and more motivation. This creates a virtuous cycle. The more energy you have, the more you move. The more you move, the healthier you feel. The healthier you feel, the more you engage in intimacy, creativity, and joy. It all begins with circulation, and beets are among the most powerful circulation enhancers nature has provided. I want to share one more story, perhaps the most moving one I've witnessed. A man named Victor, 70 years old, came to me after losing his wife of 40 years. Grief had drained him. He had no appetite, no energy, and no will to live. His daughter brought him, desperate to see her father reclaim even a fragment of his vitality. I guided him toward a nutrition plan centered around healing foods and, yes, daily beet consumption. Over time, his energy began to lift. He started walking again, then gardening, then spending time with his grandchildren. One day, tears in his eyes, he told me, "I feel alive again. Not just for me, but for them." That is the essence of this journey. When men restore their vitality, they don't just heal themselves. They heal families, they inspire communities, they model resilience for the next generation. The question, then, is not whether food matters. The question is, are we willing to take it seriously? Are we willing to honor our bodies with the same discipline we give to our careers, our finances, or our hobbies? Because the truth is, men over 50 stand at a crossroads. One road leads to slow decline, more medications, more fatigue, less pleasure. The other leads to renewal, energy, intimacy, passion, joy. The choice is not made in a hospital. It is made in the kitchen, at the table, in the quiet moments of daily life. And so, my message to you is this: do not underestimate the power of what seems small. The humble beet, overlooked by many, contains within it the potential to restore youthful pleasure, to sharpen the mind, to strengthen the heart, to rekindle intimacy. It is not a symbol of the past. It is a symbol of possibility. Imagine what could happen if men everywhere began to see food as medicine. Imagine the ripple effect in marriages, in families, in communities. Imagine a generation of men in their 60s and 70s walking with vitality, laughing with joy, loving with passion. This is not a fantasy, it is a choice. It begins with a seed planted in the soil, pulled from the earth, and placed on your plate. So tonight I leave you with this call: choose life. Choose vitality. Choose the foods that restore your circulation, balance your hormones, and awaken your pleasure. Choose the crimson beet, not as a miracle, but as a daily ally in your journey toward strength, intimacy, and joy. Because in the end, age is just a number. Vitality is a choice. And the greatest pleasure of all is realizing that your best years are not behind you. They are still unfolding, one choice at a time. Thank you.